Conditional sentence introduction. Conditionals. If clauses. Introduction. Conditional sentences consist of two parts: the if clause, which is a condition, and the main clause, which is a result. For example, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. If you study hard is the if clause, the condition. An if clause begins with if and has a subject and a verb. You as a subject and study as a verb. You will pass the exam is the main clause, the result. The word if introduces a condition. This is something that may or may not happen depending on the circumstances. We don't know exactly if you're going to study hard, so we say, if you study hard. And what is the result of this condition? You will pass the exam. There is always a condition and result. The if clause introduces a condition. The main clause is the result of that condition. What happens in the main clause is the conditional to what happens in the if clause. In other words, the main clause only happens when the events in the if clause happen. Note, there are two ways of ordering a conditional sentence. We can use condition, comma, plus result, with a comma after the condition. Or we could use result plus condition without a comma between the two. Look at the original sentence. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. Notice how there is a comma after the words study hard, which is the last part of the if clause. When the if clause comes first in the sentence, we put a comma after it. If you study hard, comma, you will pass the exam. But when the main clause comes first in the sentence, the comma is not necessary. You will pass the exam if you study hard. Notice how there is no comma in this last sentence. You can use either or. They are both used and both correct. Types of conditionals. The four main types of conditionals are the zero conditional. Sometimes it is called type zero conditional. The first conditional, sometimes it is called type 1 conditional. Second conditional, sometimes it is called type 2 conditional. And the last is the third conditional. Sometimes it is called type 3 conditional. We will quickly introduce them in this lesson and go into more detail about each conditional in individual lessons. The zero conditional. We can use the simple present plus the simple present. This is used for facts that are generally true or scientific facts. The condition always has the same result. For example, if you stand in the rain, you get wet. This is generally true. If you heat ice, it melts. This is a fact. The first conditional. We can use the simple present plus the simple future. This is used to express a possible situation in the future. We are predicting a likely result in the future if the condition happens. For example, if it rains, we will cancel a trip. This is the likely result in the future if it rains. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. Again, I predict that this will happen in the future if you study hard. The second conditional. We can use the simple past plus past future. This is used for hypothetical or unlikely situations. Also, for unreal or impossible situations, now or in the future. For example, if he sold his house, he would be rich. It is unlikely that he will sell his house because he likes living there. But in this hypothetical situation, this is what he would do. If I had a lot of money, I would travel to London. It is unlikely that I will have a lot of money. However, in the impossible situation of me having a lot of money, I would travel to London. The third conditional, we use the past perfect plus past future perfect. This is used when a person is imagining a different past, an imaginary situation that did not happen in the past. For example, if I had not been sick, I would have gone to your party. I am imagining the situation of not being sick in the past, something that I cannot change now. If the weather had been nice yesterday, I would have gone to the beach. I imagine that if the weather was nice in the past, the result would have been different. So, in general, zero conditional refers to fact and general truth. First conditional and second conditional refer to the present time and future. And the first condition is possible to happen, and second conditional is impossible to happen. And the third conditional refers to the past. Remember, this is just an introduction to conditionals. We will now look at each of these four types of conditional sentences. I hope you found this lesson about conditionals useful. If you did, click like and subscribe to our channel so you know when we created the new videos to help you improve your English. Thank you very much. A new language is new history of life. Have an awesome day. Bye bye.